Hello guys, welcome back. So today we are going to discuss the SHASHAM based civil engineering standard method of measurement based earthwork rate breakdown strategies and ideas for the infrastructure project. So especially we are going to discuss only for infrastructure related concept. Okay, so we know very well in the class E indicates the earthwork. Okay, and also there's lots of classes are available in the SHASHAM. So if you are noticing the content of this SHASHAM, there's lots of classes, class A to class Z. So each and every classes indicate a specific items. Okay, under this class E, we are going to discuss the earthwork related things. So in the earthwork, we know very well in the SHASHAM, especially there's 3 divisions and also the 4 measurement rules: first division, second division, and third division. Measurement rules, definition rules, coverage rule, and also the additional description rules. There's 4 rules and 3 divisions. So we discuss many things in very deeply in our courses also. Here I'm going to discuss only for the coverage rule. Coverage rule mean we know very well the coverage rule especially indicate so what are the items to be considered in your BOQ rate. So this is one of the sample BOQ in the earthwork for the infrastructure project. Okay, so you can see here excavation for the cutting, and also especially we use some cutting and filling for another some general excavation. So there's many ways we can use for the excavation or earthwork. So in this case we are going to fill the rates in the BOQ in the tender times and also the post contract. So we should understand what are the items to be considered or what are the items to be included in this rate regarding the earthwork. Okay, so the SHASHAM civil engineering standard method of measurement, it's very clearly indicates what are the items to be you should be considered during your rate build up something. Okay, so earthwork under the earthwork there's 3 coverage rules. Okay, so we are going to very deeply discuss this all C1, C2, and C3. Okay, the C1 says the item for the excavation shall be deemed to include. The important term is the deemed to include. So it's one of the contractual term we are going to use especially entire SHASHAM. So the simple meaning is it's automatically included. Automatically included mean when you're going to excavate any other trenches to laying the pipe work. So you should be sometime you should be take upholding the sites for the excavation. Upholding mean I can say simply like this. So upholding site of excavation mean, okay, when you dig a trench or pits, sometime the sites might be collapse or slip. So depending on the soils type and depth. So you can see there is a trench. Okay, there's a trench for the drainage pipe laying. So in the site surfaces you can see there is a upholding mean there's a shoring. For sometime we use for timber shoring, sometime we use for sheet piling something. So it is help to us to protect the collapse. Okay, collapse or slips for other sites soils particle in the excavated trench. So if you are doing this the shoring process, the excavation in your excavation, the BOQ rate also include this all the upholding sites of excavation. Okay, you are not going to climb this item for separately. So it says like this, and also it says the additional excavation to provide the working space. Working space mean you can see here there's a pipe we are going to learn in this site only. Okay, so other portions you can find out there's we call this area it's a working space. So working space mean you can see we can use in the working space for the workers to fix some formwork or any other reinforcement, sometime installation of the waterproofing, sometime we can use for this workspace for compaction or backfilling. You can see there's a compaction process also it's going on. So if you just imagine if you are digging or if you are sometime excavate the same size of this trench, what will be happen? So it will be very difficult to laying this pipe very properly. So that's why for example we can say this drainage pipe it's a total width is 1 meter something, but you can see there is some another 50 centimeters, some left side, there's another 50 centimeter for right side. So we have to excavate this trench for we can say some 2 meters, but the 1 meter only we use for the laying purpose, but another 1 meter for our work spacing purpose. So it is our additional excavation. You cannot climb for this additional excavation, so this excavation should be include all the work spaces also. So it's this point says like this. And also the third one is the removal of dead services. So when you excavate for this trench, sometime you can find out some dead services. Dead services mean there is some old abandoned utilities, sometime we can say some old pipes, some cables, some drainage related things, some conduits we can use for conduit for some electrical purposes and also telecommunication purposes. So these are some abandoned some old utilities. So when you excavate time, you can find out these items, so you should be remove these things. So this removal cost also, it should be included under your excavation rate. Sometime some of the contractor not aware these points, so they are going to start sometime they will claim for these things, removal of dead services. They will prepare one variation order, or sometime they will going to ready to claim additionally. So the consultant will catch this point, so they notify the removal of all the dead services are included in your rate. So if you are not aware, it is not our problem. So the consultant says like this, so we have to consider these points. And also the C2 coverage rule says item description for the excavation shall be deemed to include means it's also automatically included for the removal of existing pipe of any materials or diameter. So we know very well in our class I, the pipe work, okay, the pipe work, we discuss many things. So we know very well there's different types of pipes we use in the infrastructure work. So in this point says removal of existing pipe. Removal of existing pipe means that is the abandoned old pipe. So when you excavate, especially in the development area, there may already be old pipelines in the ground. So we can say some abandoned water mains, storm water pipes, sometimes drainage water, some steel conduits, some old irrigation pipelines, something like this. So if you find out these things, you should be remove these old items, okay. So this rate also included in your excavation rate. So you cannot claim separately for this one. And also it says like this, any material or any diameter, mean there's lots of different material we use in the pipe. So we can say some concrete pipe, PVC pipe, clay pipe, DI pipe, steel pipe, cement pipe, something like this. We use different materials, and also different diameter, mean 100 diameter, 200 diameter, 300 diameter. So whatever diameter, it's no problem. So as a contractor view, when you preparing your rate, you should be consider these points. So the C2 says like this. And also there is an important another point is the C3. It is a little bit complicated things. So you can see here, item for excavation within the burrow pit. Burrow pit, it's an important term in the earthwork, okay. So the burrow pit mean I can simply say like this. You can see here the burrow pit mean it is look like this. So we take the earth particle from this pit, okay. This earth particle we will going to use for some other places in the project, okay. So we can say we can use for this the burrow pit earth particle for embankment for the road surfaces, and also some backfilling for some other area, and also subgrade material. We are going to use some gravel, so any other things for the subgrade material. So we know very well in the road construction we should be fill the subgrade, okay. So sometime we can use this burrow pit material for the subgrade. So we can use also, and also some general filling area. So we can use for this burrow pit excavated material some other project areas, okay. So it says you can see here it's included, okay. Burrow pit shall be deemed to include removal and replacement of overburden and unsuitable soil. It says like this. There's a term, special term is called as a overburden, okay. It's the term is the overburden mean we can simply say, okay, before you can get the good material in the burrow pit. Okay, there's usually there's a top layers of the soil. We can say we should take this earth particle, so we have to excavate for example 1 meter. After 1 meter only we can get this is a good earth particle for our construction purposes. So you can see here there is some topsoil and some loose soil, some unsuitable soils are available in the top layer. So this top layer we can call as the overburden. Okay, so when you excavation time there is some overburden material, so topsoil material, so you should be removal of this overburden, first point. The second point is you should be replaced sometimes after completion of our other work, so you should be replace and spread it. Okay, so then you have to replace this topsoil material and replace for this burrow pit area, sometime if required in the contract and specification. So in this process also you should be considered in your rate, so you cannot climb separately for this removal of overburden and also again replace and spread this overburden material in the burrow pit. So these are some additional works. It's look like this, but it's the rule says, the coverage rule says you cannot reclaim. So it's these are the process, it's included in your rate, it says like this. And also there's an important another term is the unsuitable soil. Unsuitable soil mean we can say easily like this picture. So the first layer we can call as the overburden, it's the topsoil. Sometime when you're excavating time, we first remove this overburden. Second thing is the unsuitable soil. Unsuitable soil mean we can say some clay area, organic particles, some soft silt material if you find. So this material we cannot use in our construction project. So that's why we have to remove this layer also. Then only you can excavate the final layer usable material for our construction purposes. So this portion excavation and removal process, it should be included in your rate, excavated rate. Okay, so you cannot claim for this work separately. It's this rate build up related, the coverage rule says like this. So these are the idea in the earthwork. So we discussed many things in our infrastructure quantity surveying courses also. Our full courses are available in our official website managingqs.com, and you can see our infrastructure full course and course content related things. So just visit and explore more.